Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations present...
Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Hey there, everybody. How's it going this morning? I just wanted to do an impromptu stream because I had a conversation with the wife this morning about some stuff she was seeing on TikTok. And she was quite amused by some of the things that were going on. Actually, hang on a second. Let me take these freaking things off. All right. So I'm not going to need those because I'm not on with anybody. I don't have to hear anybody. Just me and the chat if anybody shows up. But anyway, so yeah, the conversation with the wife this morning regarding some things that's like creeping into her feed. Actually, not even creeping. It's kind of like just fucking sprouting up like mushrooms in her feed. And that is regarding the situation with those American citizens that are on EBT. If you don't know what EBT is food stamps. EBT is just another way of calling it food stamps. Food stamps back in the day, many decades ago, actually used to be little vouchers, and they had a dollar amount. They looked like Monopoly money. Is what it looked like. They had designated values: $10, $5, $1, $20, etc. Well, they streamlined that to an actual card, like a debit card that's obviously rechargeable, and then those benefits that you qualify for would go on that card. So the wife is seeing a lot of these posts, and it's quite comical, actually, quite comical that some of these people that are posting, bitching about their freaking freebies, complaining about, I'm going to lose my EBT and all this other stuff. Well, these people are saying that's like someone's drawing, they're qualifying for, and I don't know what the fuck. They're qualifying for $4,700 a month in basically free food. Because that's what EBT is used for. It's used for food. Now, back in the day, I will, for full disclosure, about 15 years ago, when my wife was pregnant with our daughter, we had EBT. My wife we also qualified for WIC, which is Women with Infant Children. And at the time, I was drawing partial unemployment because I only had a part-time job. We lived in California, just on the other side of the river from where I'm at right now. And so, yeah, we used to get EBT. But back then, EBT was very strict. You could only get fruits, vegetables, proteins. Okay. And then, of course, WIC took care of, dairy products, grains, things like that for the mother. And then, of course, when the child is born, it takes care of also any type of formula. And we definitely use that very well because, we needed formula. And then we got off of it, about a year later or so, after our daughter was about, I think, almost 1 or 2. We got off of all of that shit. And I was able to, get another job. So I had multiple part-time jobs, but we didn't qualify anymore because I was working. But it was a struggle, but it was temporary. It was a temporary thing. It was a temporary fix. It was temporary help. Didn't need it, anymore. So we never went through it again. Hey, Cruel, how's it going? Imagine food stamps on digital IDs. See movie to the UK. See movie to the UK. Yeah. I think y'all want to move over here. But anyway, yeah. Holy crap. So yeah, I was watching all these TikToks the wife has, and people are complaining that they're going to lose because they've changed all the criteria for EBT now. They're bringing it back to where it used to be, back before Barack Obama, when EBT or food stamps was just for healthy foods, vegetables, fruits, and meats. Okay, I didn't pay for candy bars, cakes, donuts, soda, any of that other shit. Now it's like a free for all. It was a free for all, but some of these people are qualifying for $4,700 a month. And the people that are bitching about it, the wife is seeing all this. She says about 95% of the people bitching about it are white women with multiple baby daddies, not married, but they're bitching about the fact that they have been told they're going to have to sell their cars. Now, cars, plural. This one lady that my wife was having a discussion with me about was a white woman from somewhere in the southern part of the United States. She was drawing $4,700 a month in EBT. She had Section 8 housing, which basically means the government is paying your rent to live in a rent-controlled building, okay, whatever, apartment or house or whatever. It's Section 8. Now, mind you, you have to qualify. You have to show financials. You have to show who's in your home, etc. All of these programs require qualification. But apparently a lot of these people are gaming the system. Now, of course, this one lady we were talking about, she got like 6 kids with 5 baby daddies, okay? She's not married to any of these guys. None of these guys, not married. And so, hang on a second. Wasn't there a bunch of non-white folk robbing stores because of this? Yes, they were. They people threw a temper tantrum, but now, every demographic is going to have a group, a faction of people, whether they're black or they're white or they're Hispanic or they're Asian, that game the system. They game the system, whatever that system is. And I'm sure over there, what you're seeing, Cruel, you're seeing a shit ton of people gaming the system there because, I don't know, they're getting free rent, hotel rooms, cell phones, food, medical, all that shit, not paying one dime. They're paying nada, zero for any of that shit. Or you can just float over here. Yeah, exactly, on a boat and loads of free. Exactly. I don't even think they have to qualify for that over there. They just give it to you. The government's just handing out shit willy-nilly. But you have to qualify for stuff here. But the thing is, a lot of people have learned over the years how to game the system. But nevertheless, going back to this conversation I had with the wife, so this white woman has 6 kids of 5 daddies. Now she's bitching and complaining that she's going to lose her Section 8 housing. She's going to lose her free housing or free rent. She's going to lose or cut back a vast amount of her benefits for EBT. So she's getting $4,700 a month or something to that effect. 47, and there's a freaking gnat in here. $4,700, and it's going to be cut back to maybe only several $100s. Here's the kicker though. She's been notified that she has to sell her cars. She has 2 cars. One of them, the first one, is a 2023 BMW. The second car is a 2024, and the wife didn't catch the make, but it's a 2024. Meaning, so these 2 cars are 2 years old or less. So it's a massive amount of money for each month for a payment plus insurance. Okay. So let me go back down here. There we go. Cruel also says 6 kids and 5 dads. How much are the dads paying? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the dads, according to what this lady said on her video, ranting and bitching and moaning about all the losses she's going to have. She claims that she gets $600 a month per head. So she's getting $600 a month per child. Okay. So 6 times 6. Okay. So she's getting $3,600 for fucking child support a month, which in the United States is non-taxable income. Okay. She doesn't have to report it. It doesn't have to be reported. So she's getting $3,600 a month for that. She gets $4,700 a month for EBT. She's getting rent paid for Section 8 housing. Okay. God knows how much that is. It's probably a big place. It ain't no freaking apartment, I'm pretty sure. It's probably an actual house. Probably, obviously, multiple bedrooms for this house. Pardon me. Monkey's get hungry in the morning. So she's getting Section 8 housing and all this other stuff. Tank Ferret! Hail to all of you magnificent bastards and bastettes. Thank you very much, Tank, for dropping in. Appreciate it. Cool. Sometimes it's hard to be a woman. The funny thing was, that's one of the I asked my wife a pointed question. I said, are these like black ladies? Are these black women? She says, no. She's like 95% of the people on her feed that she's seeing these videos all of a sudden come up. 95% of them are white women. And they're all single. And they all have multiple freaking kids with multiple freaking guys. And they're all bitching about they're losing this. Well, the other one, the first lady, she was told, I guess, by Health and Human Services or HHS that runs the FDA runs the EBT program, and a WIC, I think, too. She was told in a letter that she has to pay. She might have to pay back shit, and she's going to have to sell her cars, both of them, to pay it back. So she's been gaming the system for God knows how many years now. And no job. First of all, no job. Just fucking sitting on their ass. Drawing the easy money. And so she's obviously gaming the system. Now, I know from being around on this planet for a while, but also knowing people or knowing of people around in my local community, that a lot of folks that are on welfare, EBT, stuff like that, it's almost like a lifestyle. They treat it that way. And it's generational. It goes from generation to generation. So you have people here, they start out as a teenager, they get pregnant. So no daddy, okay, probably got pregnant from another teenager kid. So they can't pay anything. They're screwed. That they don't get any money there. But they're going to get EBT. They're going to get WIC. They're going to get welfare. And then they're probably going to have a place to live, Section 8 housing or the equivalent. So, and it just goes on and on and on because their parents or their mother, let's just say mother, is on welfare and food stamps. Okay, and it just kind of goes down generational. So you have a whole family of people, a whole generational stepladder of people in a family which are on government assistance of some kind. No job, partial education, and they game the system. And this is how I know they game the system, because the mother will have a residence. She'll use that residence, and she'll say, yes, my daughter is a dependent. I have no husband. I do not work, etc. So she gets welfare EBT. Her daughter goes and applies for EBT using that same address, claiming that she's a single mother. She's got a kid on the way, no husband, no job. So she gets benefits. You see, the generational thing is starting to go that way. So you'll have multiple members of a family, okay? Multiple members of a family that are on the dole, let's just say, on EBT or welfare. And then they get WIC. Now, WIC is a great program. And like I said, 15 years ago, we had to use it. I was on unemployment, partial unemployment. I had a part-time job, but it wasn't enough. We had to financially qualify. So we had to financially qualify. You had to show pay stubs and all that shit to get, the partial unemployment. I was still working, but it wasn't enough. The wife wasn't working. She was pregnant. So we qualified for EBT. Now you have to renew this stuff. So you have to show that, okay, I make X, I live here. This is just us three, or it's going to be us three when the child's born. So you have to do all that shit. You have to go through qualifications. So now these folks that are gaming the system that you see on TikTok that are bitching about the fact they're going to lose $4,700 a month in EBT, and she's got 6 kids and 5 baby daddies, 2 freaking expensive ass brand new cars, and then she's getting $600 a head a month for child support. And she's bitching about she's going to lose her EBT. She might have to sell her cars, whatever. Move out of. She's going to lose her Section 8 payments. I personally don't have any fucking sympathy for any of these people. They have fucked the system over. They've gamed the system. And then for somebody like myself or my wife, when we did this, there were so many fucking hoops we had to jump through just to get fucking EBT and WIC. Okay? And we didn't use it all the time either, but we used it sparingly and we got rid of it. We got the fuck out. As soon as I got another job or a couple other part-time jobs, at one time I had 5 part-time jobs. I had 5 part-time jobs, and I'm not Jamaican. So I had 5 part-time jobs. And then once I got that all unraveled and set up, let's see here. Yeah, the tank says the trailer park down the street is full of those. Yeah, exactly. Cool Beerab says, or you can call them dole bums. Yeah, that's the term you guys. The dole over there in Europe. Some have a tendency to fake disabilities to get a few extra. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I believe it. Tank says, if they want sympathy, it's in the dictionary between spins. Yes, that's great, Tank. Cruel says, let's not forget the junkies looking for crisis. Yes. It's crazy. And there's so many different ones. There's people are bitching, but here's here's the good thing. Also on my wife's feed, she's seeing people come up because they're responding to these videos. So you'll have someone who's, probably somewhere in the same demographic and same region as these people that are bitching about they're going to lose all their shit because they've been faking it. And here's the why the EBT is going. They're getting stricter. Okay, back when we had EBT 15 years ago, you could not get anything that had a massive amount of sugar in it. So no soda, no cakes, no donuts, no pies. Okay. No cookies, no potato chips. Okay, anything that was just basically not healthy for you, you couldn't use it for that, and it would flag you can't use it. Okay, no ice cream, none of that bullshit. Just your basics like fruits, vegetables, meats, maybe some lunch meats. You could get some lunch meats, breads. Okay, peanut butter, jelly, things like for making sandwiches. So you could get different lunch meats and different peanut butters and jellies for that. Butter, dairy, other dairy items, eggs, milk, etc. Right? So all the staples, right? Now, or what I saw when I was traveling into California quite a bit, I saw convenience stores or gas stations that all of a sudden about 12 years ago started taking, we accept EBT, big old signs on the freaking door. We accept EBT. And a lot of these were national chains or regional chains. And so, and in like AMPM, 7-Eleven, Tank. You may have heard of those. You know, Circle K, stuff like that. They're all big signs on their fucking door saying, we accept EBT. Now accepting EBT. So EBT for frozen freaking burritos at an AMPM, bags of chips, 2-liter bottles of soda, all kinds. You know, pretty much anything that store carried, that these convenience stores carry, they could get except for booze. And let me tell you, the prices for a lot of this stuff that is sold in convenience stores is marked up high. It's like the maximum retail sales price that they can freaking do. And nothing is cheap in there, especially if it's good for you. Well, that's what they're losing. They're losing the fact, and they're even talking about, I can't go and buy 2 liters of Coca-Cola now because my EBT won't let me. What the fuck? I have no sympathy for you. You know, if you used it right and hadn't been a fucking mooch, you'd have freaking still had what you had. Yeah, Take in the chat says, I agree. Junk food should be absolutely be off the list. Yep, EBT, SNAP recipients. I rarely eat boxed foods and make things from scratch. Yeah, and that's another thing. There was, in response to a lot of these videos that the wife was seeing on TikTok, there's people making these response videos that people are on a low budget and they're making meals for a family of 4 or 5 for $25. And they go through step by step and they show you how they make it, okay, and what the ingredients are. And it's like that's the response. Basically telling you, you fucking mooch, this is what you can do on a low budget without government assistance, you know. And guess what? Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Yeah, and Troll the chat says validity for things that are essential or healthier. Yeah, it's a good thing. For your own money for junk. Exactly. I remember seeing this when they first started pulling this out about 12 years ago under President Obama. His second term, he started fucking everything up. And, you know, healthcare is a whole nother fucking nightmare. But yeah, it's nuts because these people, and video after video after video, these people are posting different people bitching about, I'm not going to get my $2,700 a month in EBT and yada, yada, yada. And I don't know, they told me I have to go spend 15 to 20 hours of community service to qualify. Oh, here's the good one. So the one lady was bitching about the fact that they said you need to go get a job. You have to show proof of, you know, that you're going to try to take care of yourself. And this lady's saying, oh, I don't want to fucking get a job. People telling you what time you're supposed to be there, what time you can leave. You can't be on your cell phone. Well, hello, have you ever worked in your whole life? Holy fuck. You know? Tank in chat says, my wife was fatigued from the kids' sugar rush and admitted it was all my fault for keeping them on a low sugar diet. Yes, our dads, yeah, we're always at fault. There's so much sugar and sugar-like substances yeah, exactly. Prepackaged foods are the worst, man. They are the worst. I mean, along with all the freaking preservatives and everything else that's chemicals and dyes and shit that's not good for you. Yeah, we're suckers for that shit. But yeah, so you know, it's just it's nuts sometimes what the hell you know is going on. It really is. But these people are funny. They're bitching about, oh, my welfare, oh, my MUT, oh, my Section 8 housing. And one notable thing that the wife pointed out, and most of these individuals that are white women, she said 95% are white women. The other 5% are a combination of other ethnicities. Okay? But the majority that she's seeing in her feed are all white women. So you can imagine they're probably liberal white women. Whatever. They're all plus sizes. Imagine the shit out of that. They sit around on their ass. They got no fucking job, no responsibilities, whatever. And I don't know, buy their 8 cases of fucking Coca-Cola and Twinkies and fucking all kinds of shit, cupcakes and cookies and all kinds of crap, chips, and just sit on their ass with a 60-inch fucking screen TV with 95 streaming channels and just sit there on their ass with no fucking responsibilities, you know, and their kids see this, and their kids, as they grow up, they get conditioned for this type of lifestyle. Hello. And then they become, you know, it's just a fucking chain. The chain of freaking stupid shit. Cruel the chat says, we had to do work placements or small programs to go along with our adult. Yeah. Well, one of these people that were bitching about all this, losing all this EBT and all this other stuff was, she was saying that if she was to get a community service type position, do some community service about 15 to 20 hours a week, then she would still qualify for the amount of money that she was getting. This is someone else. It was one of the $4,700 woman, someone else. And it's like, okay, well, there's different organizations out there that are nonprofits that are looking for people to volunteer and help. That would qualify you. So if you went over to, we have a mission here with a couple of locations, the Yuma Mission. Okay, it's a nonprofit. They have beds for people that are, homeless, stuff like that. They try to help people out. They need volunteers, they need people to come and help out and do menial work or, whatever it is, maybe just cleaning up stuff, sweeping the floor, whatever, some kind of something that could help out, with the overall function of that organization. There's other things they could do. They could probably get a hold of a church and do some kind of thing there with them, because churches around here are always doing some sort of community outreach, and that might qualify you under whatever guidelines the EBT says. But they're bitching about, they have to do something. I have to get off my fat cholesterol-ridden ass and fucking go work. It's like entitlement attitude, and it's generational. It's generational. And it, like I said, it doesn't matter the demographic, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, okay? But because they have them all these communities have the same shit, okay? Same attitude across the board when you're looking at these same welfare moochers. It doesn't matter. And so it's not a racial thing. It's a fucking attitude thing. And it's insane to see this crap. Yeah, we also had to look for at least 4 jobs. Yeah, well, when I was on partial unemployment, even though I had a job, I had to look for another job. I had to show proof, so I had to at least be able to fill out applications and things like that, which I did. And thankfully, like I said, I ended up getting 5 part-time jobs, working about 50 hours a freaking week, and it helped out. That's how we got off of all the EBT and stuff like that, and for that. And take note on it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and as shocking as this sounds, I have actually had some jobs over the year. Yeah, I know you've had some jobs. Yes, you have. So, excuse me. Popcorn that I purchased with my own money and popped it right here in my home with a machine that I bought with my money from my job. Not EBT, not welfare, my job. So, yeah. But, excuse me, while I chew this up here. I know it's probably driving you guys nuts. Yes. There I go. Eating again. Yes. Well, it's almost lunchtime here, so. But yeah, the entitlement mentality of a lot of people, they've just been able to game the system in a way generationally. That's the thing. So you have one generation teaches the next generation in the family how to fucking be moochers. Okay. Now, as I said before, I was on it. We were on EBT and WIC. But my wife was pregnant. I was receiving partial unemployment. I still had a part-time job. It wasn't enough. That's why I went and applied for partial assistance unemployment. Was able to get off of that, get off the EBT because I got more jobs. So there is a pathway to get off of the shit if you want to. These people that are draining the system don't want to because, again, it's generational. It's all freebie. Oh, and they see that their mom did this shit, had, multiple children. They're one of them. And she's teaching them all by example how to game the system, how to falsify documents. Falsify documents, that's one thing. Okay, meaning, okay, if you live in a residence, how many people are living there? Well, it's just me and my children. But you're not counting the live-in father of one of the kids that's not married to you, probably her sister with their 5 kids and husband or whatever. All these motherfuckers living under one roof. Okay, but it's you, and you have to list it. It's fucking right there. How many people reside at this residence? How many? And they only put themselves and whatever blood, the kids, so they can qualify. And then their fucking in-laws or their sister or their brother and their kids fucking all have the same bullshit. They get the EBT, welfare, etc., Section 8 housing, all this crap. That's why this one broad has $4,700 a month in fucking EBT and $3,600 a month in child support, which, hey, I'm not bagging on that. I'm just saying she's getting $3,600 and she doesn't have to, or $3,200. No, $3,600, and she doesn't have to fucking report it. It's not taxable income. Okay, child support. Just so you know, that's why the child support racket and family services is such a fucking racket, is because nobody has to report the fucking taxes on that shit. The father does. The guy writing the fucking check every month. That's part of his income. Well, he's got to pay taxes on that $600 that he's giving out every month. Then they're fucking done that. First wife, bitch. But, hey, I paid my dues. Did what I was supposed to do. Watched her fucking get herself a Mercedes back in the 90s. But hey, it is what it is. Nevertheless, I got off on a little tangent there. Tank in the chat says, I make popcorn with the stovetop and season it with butter and salt the old-fashioned way. I use an air popper, but yeah, I use melted butter and just plain salt. Yeah, right in the bowl. Yep. And Cruel says, I remember sitting on my arse and getting money for it. It was called night security. Yeah, I know. You told me about that. Hey, you know what? You can do that shit here too, brother. You can. You could. Anyway. So yeah, gaming the system. People are just in generational, teaching the next generation how to game the system, and commit fraud, in my opinion. Because I know what pain in the ass it was for my wife and I to qualify for EBT and also the WIC and all the fucking paperwork and shit. Okay, the amount of paperwork, and then we had to get, once our daughter was born, we had to go to the Social Security fucking office, okay, and submit paperwork to get, well, actually, when my wife got married, we had to go do a name change. Okay, so we did all that shit with the name change and everything. So we had to go to the Social Security office to get her name changed. She had to have 3 fucking forms of ID of some kind, okay, just to get her fucking name changed, last name changed at the Social Security office and get new cards. And let me tell you what, there was a ton of people in that office that I'm pretty sure didn't speak English. And I'm just going to leave that right there. But yeah, and then we had to go back once our daughter was born, several years later, and get her Social Security card and everything, because we had to have that on taxes. Yeah. Now you have to have a Social Security card for everybody. You have to have a number, for the kids. So you have that. And But yeah, going to get that, and then, fuck, even though the wife qualified for WIC, it's like you have to bring in a mountain of paperwork, and you got to fill out a mountain of paperwork. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's government. And if you follow the fucking rules, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get the benefits that you are deserved, not what you're entitled to because you think you are. You're going to get what you deserve based on how you qualify. And that basically means on how much money you're bringing in. As Troll says, me and 2 other mates had security jobs, and the others we knew sat around doing zip and got everything. We wondered if we were the fools. It sucks because there's some people, like I said, that can game the system. And a lot of these people that are bitching on TikTok have gamed the system for a long time, and they're able to basically, they're committing fraud. Some of them, most of them, they're gaming the system. They lie on applications, things like that. And if there's not a lot of, diligent follow up, you have a situation like this gal with $4,700 worth of EBT, 6 kids, 5 babies, daddies, 2 brand new fucking cars, and Section 8 housing. And she's pissed because she might have to go get a fucking job, and that they're going to force her to sell her cars. I have no sympathy. I have zero. I think it's funny. I think it's even funnier that people are posting reply videos showing them how you can feed a family of 4 or 5 on like $20-25 fucking dollars a night, okay, by using regular food, no junk food, none of that bullshit, okay? It's insane. It is freaking insane. But that's the way it goes. So how's everybody doing today on this Sunday? Cool, you're in Scotland, so pretty late. Tank, where are you at? Are you back east? Somewhere near East Coast? I don't know, 5 watching and 2 in the chat. So if anybody's wanting to jump in the chat, say hi, please do so. Let me know where you're at. I don't really do this stuff, but I just had to. Because the wife was we were just having a massive conversation about this a couple hours ago. It was freaking hilarious. My wife can't believe the audacity of people to go on social media and bitch about the fact that they're losing all these government freebies and that they have to work. Now, I can see, okay, here's the thing. I don't see any TikTok videos of people who are getting $200 or $300 a month in EBT that are still struggling. They're on the borderline, okay? They're on the borderline of that without the $200, $300 a month, then they'd really be screwed because they wouldn't have any food for the kids or themselves or whatever because of whatever, okay? And there's another fucking thing, too. Here in the United States, for a lot of these freaking programs, they look at your gross fucking income, meaning anything that you make before taxes. Okay? Now, I make less this year, calendar year 2025, than I did in 2024. And I had a raise. Yeah, I got a raise and I make less. I bring home less. It's not because of taxes. Quite the opposite. It's the good old company medical insurance. You see, we stopped using company medical insurance and paying for it back, I don't know, right about the time they started mandating all these fucking shots that you had to get. Okay? Insurance companies were mandating this shit. And so the companies were threatening all the employees, if you didn't get this shot, then you could be terminated. And so we both had to get the shot. Thankfully, the daughter didn't, and she hasn't. But right after that, we fucking said, sayonara insurance, because they were forcing us to get these shots before the before the open enrollment date was finished, and we went and got rid of that shit. So for 2020, 2022, 23, and 24, we only had dental and vision, and we had an FSA, which is a flexible spending account, which can be used to pay for doctor's visits and medications and prescriptions and shit like that. Well, we decided, the wife got the wild hair, okay, decided that she wanted to get insurance so that we could all go get, and now she suffers from hypothyroidism, and she has this for a couple decades now. And so the problem we were finding was that she couldn't get in to see a doctor. She couldn't get in to see a doctor without becoming a new patient at whatever clinic or whatever. Problem is, to become a new patient, you have to have insurance. So we decided, because of her condition, and she needed to get medication to basically, it's basically a maintenance thing. It's not anything more than that. It's just maintenance. It's a non-narcotic medication that she's taking, by the way. Anyway, so, hang on a second. We had mac and cheese for supper tonight. Awesome. I had mac and cheese. I'll probably have mac and cheese tonight. We'll cut up some freaking hot dogs and throw in there too. We have ways of making it. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Cotton's in the chat. Welcome, Cotton. How's it going, sir? So, yeah, and where the hell am I? So yeah, so the clot shot. Ooh, clot shot. So yeah, we got rid of all the insurance. As far as that, we kept the dental, vision, and the FSA. We could do that. We didn't have the medical. Well, we decided to do the medical this year, and holy fucking shit. Because the wife needed to get a doctor's visit to get a prescription for hypothyroid medication. So we decided, okay, we'll do that. And she had a side hustle she was doing, and everything seemed to be working out. At least the first month of the year, January, I lost out of my paycheck an extra $300 to $400 a check paying for medical insurance. Then the bombshell hit was she lost the company that she was doing this basically, it's like selling. And so the company changed how they did their compensation package and compensation stuff, which basically fucked everybody in the company, fucked every rep they had, fucked them all hardcore. It was bad. So she ended up losing a shit ton of money every month. So then, because we had the insurance, we got the insurance, so we had to go make appointments to go to a doctor, because now we have the insurance and they'll see you now, and you can be a new patient with insurance. So we went to this place, and we went there, and everybody had a checkup. Me, wife, my teenage daughter. We all got checkups. Okay. And that's all well and good. So your initial checkup or whatever, your annual checkup is basically covered by the insurance company. You pay a small copay, I don't know, like $20 or something like that for the visit, $20-$30 a head. Okay, that's fine. We got an FSA, right? Yeah, we'll just pay for it with the FSA. And then the doctors are like, oh, we got to give you all this bullshit. And the wife got a prescription for her stuff, and the daughter got a prescription for some stuff, minor thing that she was going through. And then I have like, what, 3 prescriptions. Thank you very little. It's costing me, and I'm no better than I was last year at this time for taking all this bullshit pharmaceuticals. Anyway, so they decided, because part of my wife's annual checkup, they have to do, it's females, they have to do mammograms and shit like that. Hang on a second, I'll check in with any woman I've ever been with would have flipped out if she knew I was talking about her medical bullshit. Well, hypothyroidism is pretty common out there. So, and she's not, you know, she doesn't, she doesn't have a thing about it. But anyway, yeah, I've seen women flip out for a lot less, way less, way less. Um, but yeah, so she goes and they do this mammogram. Okay, squish your titties, take pictures of the titties. Anyway, they say, well, whatever, this, that, and the other, we have to do something else. Anyway, long story short, um, this extra procedure that she had to have done because it was recommended by her doctor. Her doctor sent her over to this place, this diagnostic place, to get all this shit done. Come to find the fuck out, insurance maybe covered about, I don't know, 15% of it. And now we're medical debt bound. Thank you very much, fucking Obama, you bastard. And this fucking insurance company doesn't cover shit. So, and it's one of the major ones too. One of the major ones. Yeah. I'm not going to mention them, but it's one of the major ones. So anyway, so because of all this shit, I make less money now than I did this time last year because of insurance. And I got a raise last year. So I make less. Fuck. So, needless to say, this year, we're not going to be renewing our medical insurance. We're going to keep the vision and the dental and the FSA. So, yeah. We're pretty much like screwed. Thank you, Barack Obama, you bastard vampire son of a bitch. But hey, do you have insurance? And do you have insurance on your insurance? Yes, yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. I have company sponsored insurance. Basically, they take money out of your paycheck, but the insurance providers have basically screwed almost every customer they've ever had recently because of the changes that were made in the medical industry, because of the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, which is actually known in small circles as the Unaffordable Care Act, because you tripled the freaking deductibles. Okay, the deductible, that's the out of pocket cost you have to pay. They've narrowed the scope of what the providers will cover for treatments based upon your deductible. If you've paid your deductible for the fucking year, then you paid through and everything, you reach that deductible, then they'll take care of everything else, and you have like an 80-20 or some bullshit. They'll pay 80, you pay 20. Outside of that, it's a fucking nightmare. I pay all this fucking money out of my paycheck to cover shit, and then they come back and tell my wife, well, the insurance company actually tells me that, oh yeah, here's your bill. Like, fuck you. Holy shit. And then here's another thing. All these people that are running around, I got my medical insurance for $50 a month. Oh, the Affordable Care Act is so great. Oh, Obamacare. Yeah, use it. Try and use it. Because your fucking deductible is probably about $15,000. And the scope of shit that whatever carrier is, the scope of shit's about like this that they're going to cover. Oh, yeah, you might go in to see the doctor for a bloody nose or some bullshit and get a small prescription and pay $20 or $25 or $35 for a fucking copay at the register, and then go over to the pharmacy and get the generic version of whatever the hell it is for $20, okay, or $30 at the pharmacy. Guess what? Go have lab work done. Go fucking have an x-ray done. Go give them a fucking like 5 vials of fucking blood. And then you get a fucking bill from the insurance within weeks saying, oh yeah, here's your bill. It's $8,000 fucking dollars, and we're only going to cover 10%. You have to come up with the rest. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's what it is now, because it's the deductible. Obamacare fucked the deductibles. I remember when I was working for Toys R Us, okay, back in 2000. Yeah, back in 2000. I was working for Toys R Us in San Diego. I had Aetna insurance, okay, Aetna. I had dental, I had vision, and I had medical. They were taking, I don't know how, they were taking $100 out of my fucking check every 2 weeks. And it was a pure 80%, 20% split. It was a PPO. My deductible was $2,500. $2,500. Matter of fact, when I was married to my first wife in the early 90s, we had insurance through her fucking company, which was Aetna then. And let's see, we had to pay, we had a hospital visit, and I think we had to pay, I think the deductible was $1,000. Yeah, deductible was $1,000. We had to pay $1,000 for a hospital overnight visit. Okay, $1,000 deductible. This cost us $80 a check. Actually, it was $110 a check for her with her company. Okay, so spending $220 a month, and we had to pay the deductible, which was $1,000. I think we'd already been up to like, well, the deductible was $1,000, but I think we had to pay what was left. I think it was like $600, $700 to reach the deductible, and they covered everything else. Everything else was covered. Now you're fucked. Do not get an ambulance ride to the fucking emergency room for a twisted ankle. Oh, to get fucked. Oh my God. Yeah. Insurance is necessary for so many things, but good luck getting, to be out of the, exactly. Yeah, insurance here has been, and it's not just insurance, it's the medical industry too. Because what has happened is before the ACA was passed under the Obama administration and he signed it, you had a lot of private practice doctors. They had small little shops, okay, small little clinics. They're private practice. And then they would have affiliations with some of the hospitals, okay. The ACA pretty much caused every fucking private practice doctor that I knew of, they retired. They quit. They closed up shop and they sent their patients to somewhere else. I found a way around all that. I just don't go to the yeah, exactly. That's what we were doing. Until she had to go fucking get a prescription. And let me tell you, she needs it. Her thyroid is a problem. And if she doesn't have the medication to maintain it, she gets real bad. She gets really bad sick, and it's not a fun thing for her at all. And but she needs the medication. But now, because we already have a primary care physician, and each one of us see this individual, we go about 3 times a year now. So I think it's the minimum. You can't. I think if you don't visit the doctor for a year, you have to requalify or reapply or some bullshit. But now that she's got this doctor, the doctors that we're seeing, now this is a clinic, and I call them a doctor. None of them are fucking doctors. Not one of them. They're not. They're nurse practitioners. They're not doctors. They're nurse practitioners. Not one fucking doctor. The only time you see a doctor, go to the fucking emergency room. Then you pay the doctor's fee. Holy shit. Cruel Virab says, with the NHS, in Scotland, we don't pay for our prescriptions and treatment. The NHS is in a mess, however. Yeah, you've got what is termed as socialized medicine. I think Canada is kind of the same way to an extent. You know, a lot of things are covered, but you're paying it in other ways. And then they restrict what they will do for you. They'll do the minimum. Let's see here. Cotton says, the doctor told me I needed blood pressure medication, and now they say they want to shove a camera in my ass. I'm with you, brother. Fuck that shit. Yes. Yeah. I don't want, yeah. Ain't nobody coming with me with that fucking camera in my ass. Fuck that shit. Nope. There's the funny thing, too. They got me on, this is the prescriptions I have. Blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, and diabetes medication. So these are all pills. So they call it the trifecta because they're all part of the blood. The funny thing is, when I went to go and do my first visit with this new nurse practitioner, not a doctor, I was feeling great. I was feeling just fine. I was also under 200 pounds. I was feeling great, under 200 pounds. I was doing things. I had energy and all this other stuff. So they did the height, weight, all that shit. And then they took my blood pressure there twice. Oh, your blood pressure is very high. We want to make sure that you're before you leave, we can get that down. So whatever. And now I've only had blood pressure issues since I got the shot. Since I was forced to get the fucking shots. Okay? Never had a blood pressure issue. Never had a cholesterol issue. Never had a fucking blood sugar issue until after I got the shots. Fuck the shots. So yeah, so we go in there, he does a little questionnaire with me, whatever, bullshit, da 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 da. And they prescribe me all this bullshit, right? I about a week into taking all this bullshit, because everything has to be done every day. Okay, I started feeling like a bag of dog shit, like fucking feeling bad, and it wasn't. And guess what? The blood pressure was still up here, and then there's the blood sugar was still up here. But now I'm taking this medication, it still didn't go nowhere. Like, what the fuck, dude? Curb what I eat, no sugar, reduce salt. This shit right here, this, okay, once a fucking week, I have popcorn, and it's on the weekends. One time a week. So yeah, fuck. So I have Memepril for BP, and more recently, for gout. Oh shit, dude. BP was before the shot. However, okay, dude, you got gout. That's gotta suck, dude. I knew someone with fucking gout and they couldn't fucking walk. It was like bad. Man, that sucks. Yeah, I envy you, man. Fuck. I envy you for not getting the shot. I was forced to. With single fucking income, and there was no way to get another job. I had to. But not now. Fuck that shit. Grapes and apparently are good for cholesterol. Yeah. Well, I was doing some stuff. I have I still am taking. I started back on it because I want to get off this fucking medication. I was taking some green vegetable supplements, a powder. It's a powder mix. No sugar, no artificial flavors or colors, only the bullshit. It's like I don't know, 50 different fucking fruits in it, vegetables, I should say. And then I take a beet juice. It's granulated as well, so it's a powder. And the beet are supposed to help lower blood pressure and lower blood sugar. I also started going back on my turmeric. Started taking turmeric now because turmeric's good for the kidney and blood sugar. And so I've been feeling better while I've incorporated that into what I'm doing. I still check my blood. I have a fucking heart monitor bullshit down here, cuff, whatever, to check on my BP. But yeah, the drugs are working for gout. Good. Well, there you go, man. That's what it is. As long as they're working. Hopefully you were in the control group. You know what? When I got the first one, that's when I had the Pfizer. We chose the Pfizer one because at the time, talking to somebody who was in the medical industry, they said that their experience was and information that they had is that the Pfizer shots were not as bad as, say, Moderna or whoever else, AstraZeneca. So we decided to go with the Pfizer, which is a 2-shot bullshit. Well, I had 1 shot. The wife and I got shots at the same day. So I had the shot. And that was a Sunday. The next day, I had to go to work, and I was working, and I thought I was having a fucking heart attack. So I ended up going over to the clinic that we would go to all the time, got in there, called my boss first and said, hey, I'm going to the fucking doctor. So I go over there, get in there, get to the desk, and I say, yeah, I think I've got some issues with my heart. Something's going on and everything. As soon as you say heart, they're like fucking like jumping all over the place like the Three Stooges and shit. They drag your ass in the fucking room in there. They hooked me up to a machine, the heart monitor, or the blood pressure machine. So I'm sitting in a chair with a blood pressure cuff on. Okay, and it was literally off the it topped out. It topped. It fucking topped. It was gone. It was redlined. It couldn't go any fucking higher. And they were freaking out. So they said, okay, you just sit here for a few minutes and I can come back in about 20 minutes and we're going to do it again. But we're going to do it with the manual cuff. So they come back in and yeah, it was still high, but it was not redlining. Yeah. Fuck you, Pfizer. Anyway, yeah, it was bad. And so that was back, like I said, that was like 2021. And then because again, you were forced or you were terminated. Okay. So to be fully vaccinated, you had to get the 2 shots from Pfizer. So we got the 1, and then we had to actually wait 3 weeks. Okay. 3 weeks to get the second shot. So I got the first one in early October. That's when that shit hit me. So of 2021. And then, but the wife was fine. She had hers and she had no problems. So I got all that bullshit going on. Give me all this medication. So we go back in and I'm talking to my boss. I'm talking to a bunch of other motherfuckers trying to say, hey, I had this adverse fucking reaction. Are they going to fucking let me slide if I don't take the second one? No. You gotta, and we had to show the fucking card. We actually had to send it in. We had to do a scan of it, fucking send it in an email to HR. Okay. And so that's how much of a bullshit fucking game they were playing. So I had to go get the second shot. And so the wife and I went, we got our second shots. Now I had the second one. I had no issues, nothing. So but the wife, she came down with a massive fucking cold. I mean, she was in bed for like 2 days. Okay. I had nothing, no problem with me, perfectly fucking fine as far as that goes. So yeah, it was yeah. I don't trust those flu shots. Yeah, I'm never going to get a fucking shot again. I don't give a fuck. Not one. Not a tetanus shot, not a flu shot, nothing. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. Not a rabies shot. No. They're putting an mRNA in everything now. Every fucking shot has an mRNA bullshit, the DNA sequencing shit. And I'm kind of pissed. I'm kind of fucking pissed that RFK hasn't fucking yanked that shit and kicked these motherfuckers in the nuts like he said he was going to fucking do. I'm pissed that they haven't done shit. So fuck vaccines. I'll take my chances. I haven't had a flu vaccine in 25 years. And I don't intend to get another one. And I was perfectly fine. I was perfectly okay. Okay? Everything was fine until 2021. October of 2021. I had the flu-like effects after the first Astra, not the second, but I was done after that. Yeah, yeah. The wife got hit the first time, the second time, she was fine. She was perfectly fine. And then, but I was, of course, I had racing pulse and all this shit. I was like freaking out, and yeah, it was not good. And so yeah, the second shot was not right after. Yeah, but the wife, that's like you said, she had the first one, she was fine. Second one she got, man, she was laid up for at least 2 days. She was bad. She had fever, runny nose, congestion, sore throat. She had everything. It was like, turbo flu. Like one day she was fine, the next day she was fucking couldn't move. Yeah, yeah, the first. They're wanting to spew it into the atmosphere. Yeah, I know. I heard about that shit. Well, they're trying to put it in the food too. Trump just approved more COVID shots. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. That fucking pissed me off too. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But they got to get that shit out of, they got to get it out of the fucking flow. The mRNA is not good at all. None of it. None of that shit. And I'm really fucking disappointed in this administration about that. I really fucking am. I thought for sure, because RFK Jr. fought these motherfuckers in court, proved a bunch of shit, won a bunch of fucking cases, he had the fucking receipts. He still got the fucking receipts from all these lawsuits that he did against these motherfuckers, and yet it seems like somebody got to him. Yeah, see. Yeah, I don't like the warp speed shit either. At the time, I thought it was a good idea because it fast-tracked the research. The problem is nobody was fucking checking on the company what the fuck they were putting in it until it was too fucking late. So, yeah, it just, I mean, I know somebody that's in the medical testing industry, and that was the biggest. I mean, it violated every fucking bit of everything as far as protocols, norms, getting things to the market. It bypassed a lot of shit. It was dangerous. And obviously so, because they snuck the mRNA in it. And, now we have what we have. Fuck. We got fucking athletes dropping dead on the football field, on the fucking soccer pitch. Fuck, dude, look at half the fucking European League freaking footballers out there drop dead on video, dude. Just fucking, that was it. They were keeled over on the fucking field. Yeah, I'm not proud of any of that shit. I'm not fucking cotton take. Yeah, so, but anyway. Another popcorn break. Yes. Sugar-free food coloring. Passed off as zero sugar Dr. Pepper, and it tastes like garbage. It tastes like garbage. It's the only thing. And zero sugar, the shit that they put in there as a sweetener, it's worse for you than fucking sugar is. Holy shit. But yeah. So, yeah, people on TikTok bitching about their EBT and welfare and everything like that, which is really, it's just a racket, man. It's just bullshit. I got dad napped in Dadland. What did I miss? You missed the part where I was bitching about the ACA and Obamacare and all this other lovely bullshit. I quit soda over a year ago. Best decision ever. Yeah, that's great, man. I'm gonna get there soon too. I just, I basically drink it for a little bit of the caffeine shot. So again, I've only drink this stuff on the weekends. I don't drink it during the week. And I'll have one or two over the course of the weekend. Same with the popcorn. I only do the popcorn fucking, on the once a week. But yeah, yeah, fuck. Everything that we fucking eat now is full of so much artificial shit that's not even good for you. Half the shit that's in some of this food, Cool Beer App will tell you, look at, it's not even allowed over there. We can't fucking ship this shit that we eat over there to you guys. They'll fucking throw half of it in the ocean. They don't allow that shit. Yeah, the ACA, the largest insurance scam. Yep, exactly. And it's not just insurance. The 3,000-page bill law now fucking destroyed the medical industry. So it basically protected the pharmaceutical industry, fucked the doctors over, and fucked the patients over. The ones that made out were the pharmaceutical companies. It's a joke. Yeah, water is king. Definitely if you filter it right too. You gotta watch out because some of these fucking places put shit in it, like fluoride. Fuck fluoride, dude. That's yeah. Water is king. Water is king. But yeah, so I don't know. And I got to start doing some exercises too, like burpees and shit. I got to start doing stuff, working out, not just like lifting weights, but actually doing some. And that's the thing that scared me ever since this fucking year we got the insurance back. You know, I've been taking this blood pressure medication and shit, and every time I get a little winded, it's fucking scaring me because if I do calisthenics, so you're doing jumping jacks or burpees, or you go for a jog or some shit, doing squats, even without weights, just doing like the Jack LaLanne type thing. I get fucking, a little dizzy because of it, because of the blood pressure medication. So you can't do the calisthenics that you need to do and cardio workout because you'll fucking pass out. But you need to lose the weight. It's like, and I don't want to necessarily go cold turkey off of all the fucking meds, but I may have to. I even drink my coffee black unless my wife bakes a lot of coffee maker. Splash of cream or milk. Yeah, I used to drink it black a long time ago, and I've recently have been using creamer, again, sugar-free bullshit. And I kind of don't. I want to get. What I was doing is I was using real cocoa, in my coffee, but that got way too expensive. So powdered cocoa, you got to stir the shit out of it, blend it up real good. But yeah, but it was good, but yeah, expensive. So now I'm relegated to store brand creamer with no sugar added. More bullshit. Let's see here. I do walking up and downtown usually every day. Yeah, you always tell me about your adventures when you go out and about downtown and stuff. That's good, man. I do a shit ton of walking for my work. I walk all over the fucking place and doing what I do. But I need to do something. I need to do something a little bit more than what I'm doing. I need to do other things. And like I said, with this blood pressure medication, it's kind of no bueno sometimes. Like my coffee, like my heart, cold, black, and strong. I love you, Tank. That's awesome. I like it. I like that. That's good. Cold, black, and strong. Yep. Yeah. Oh my God. I had a guy one time. I was in a Home Depot. I think it was the Home Depot over here one day, and I stopped in there to get something, so I still had my name badge on from work. I was walking down this aisle, and this guy stops me, thinking I'm an employee. He goes, "Hey, where do you keep your steaks?" These steaks for marking out shit on ground, stuff like that. And I look at him straight in the eye, and I said, "Deep inside my ex-wife's black heart." And he fucking about pissed his pants laughing so hard. It was freaking great, dude. Oh, fucking ex-wife, bitch. Both of them. Anyway, well, you know what, guys? It's about noon here in a few minutes. I think I'm going to call it. We got, looks like 5 people watching between YouTube and Rumble. But, yeah, I thought I would talk about that EBT stuff and whatnot. So I know that Bunny and I we didn't do the cryptids and conspiracies last night. Was a lot of stuff going on, I think. So on both ends. So yeah, it's we'll be back next Saturday night. And then also, yeah, Friday night, I'll be doing my thing this Friday. I have no idea what the topic's going to be, but I'm sure it'll be worthwhile. So, but again, that'll be Friday at 6:30 my time. So Cruel, that's like Saturday morning for you, unfortunately, brother. But I'm not sure who I'll have on. Probably Abby, someone, and hopefully Kurt. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe even Bunny. I don't know. All right, guys. Thanks again for stopping by and watching me eat popcorn and listening to me bitch and moan and piss about stuff. But I want to thank Cruel Beer Ab for being in the chat, Tank Ferret, and of course, Cotton Ministries. Thank you so much for all you guys being in the chat. Appreciate you guys. And for those of you, the other 2 people that are watching, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. I would appreciate that. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next or this coming Friday, 6:30 Pacific. And we will see you then. Have a great weekend, or rest of your weekend anyway. With a few hours left. And Cruel's already Monday, I think. Anyway, have a good one.
We all just want to party. Yes, yes, we don't care what we're told.